Don't let your ego destroy what you've worked so hard to build. Ego isn't just an obstacle, it's the enemy of everything you want to achieve. Ego ruins more careers than failure ever will. It convinces you that you're untouchable, that you don't need help, or that you've already learned enough. But if you let it take control, it will destroy everything you've worked for. In Ego is the Enemy, Ryan Holiday reveals a hard truth. Your ego is the greatest obstacle to your growth. It doesn't matter if you're just starting, if you're successful, or if you face setbacks. It's always lurking, ready to undermine you. In this video, we're going to dive into how ego operates, how to spot it before it derails you, and how to manage it so you can keep moving forward. By the end, you'll understand how to tame your ego and unlock your true potential. Let's dive in. The most dangerous thing ego does is make you believe you're already there. At the beginning of any journey, ego feeds you this lie that you're special or above others, but all it really does is slow your growth. When you put ego before your purpose, you lose sight of what's important. You start chasing recognition instead of mastery. Your goal should be to get better, not to look better to others. The second mistake, thinking you know everything. Ego stops you from being a student. It makes you too proud to learn, and that's where growth stalls. True growth comes when you accept that there's always more to learn, and that humility is key. You have to put your ego aside and let yourself be a student, even if you think you already know the answers. Then there's the idea of passion. Yes, passion is important, but unchecked passion can be a disaster. Ego convinces you that your passion should be enough to push you forward. But without balance, passion becomes arrogance. And that arrogance leads to poor decision-making, because you start believing that your feelings or desires are more important than the work itself. Finally, there's the process. It's easy to get distracted by the promise of quick rewards, but ego pushes you to skip the hard work. It makes you want the glory without putting in the grind. The truth is, success comes when you focus on the process, not the end result. The journey, not the recognition, is where the real value lies. So, as you move forward in life, remember this. Your ego will try to tell you that you're already good enough. Don't listen. Stay humble, keep learning, and focus on the work. Only then will you unlock the real growth that leads to success. Success can be a double-edged sword, and in the second part of Ego is the Enemy, we look at how ego can creep in once you've achieved something significant, and how it can turn triumph into downfall. The first mistake is letting success inflate your ego. It's easy to get caught up in the praise and recognition, but the danger lies in thinking you're above everyone else. The key to lasting success is maintaining your humility, remembering that your achievements don't make you any better than those who helped you along the way. Next, there's the challenge of restraint. Once you achieve success, it's tempting to show it off, but too much pride can push people away. Arrogance can cloud your judgment and stop you from learning or improving. The most successful people know when to keep their ego in check and focus on what's next. Success can also bring about the disease of me. This happens when you get so wrapped up in your image and how others perceive you that you forget about the work that got you there. The focus shifts from the effort to the recognition, and that's a dangerous place to be. Then there's the trap of talking too much about your success. While it might feel good to share your achievements, talking constantly about what you've done diminishes its value. Actions speak louder than words, and true success is proven by what you create, not just what you say. Finally, instead of competing for attention, focus on creating. When you're constantly trying to outdo others, you lose sight of personal growth. Creating something valuable and focusing on your own journey is what leads to lasting success. The most important takeaway: don't let your ego destroy what you've worked so hard to build. Ego can quickly undo your progress, so always stay focused on your purpose and the process. Keep your ego in check, and you'll continue to rise. Failure is inevitable, but how you handle it can make all the difference. In the third part of Ego is the Enemy, we explore how ego impacts failure and how to rise above it. The first lesson is to see failure as a live time, not dead time. Instead of letting failure defeat you, use it as an opportunity to learn. Ego may tell you to quit or avoid the pain of failure, but the most successful people embrace setbacks and use them to grow. Next, staying humble is crucial. Humility helps you bounce back from failure because it allows you to accept that you're not perfect and that mistakes are part of the journey. When you're humble, you're more willing to learn and adapt, and that's how you move past failure. Ego also creates psychological traps when we fail. It convinces you that the failure defines you or that it's a reflection of your worth. These traps can make it hard to see the way forward, but by recognizing these traps, you can avoid them and keep your focus on improvement, not self-pity. Then there's the idea that the struggle is the way. Ego wants you to avoid hardship, but struggle is a necessary part of growth. The most meaningful progress comes through challenges and obstacles. Instead of fighting against struggle, learn to embrace it and let it shape you into a stronger version of yourself. Finally, the dichotomy of control is all about focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. In the face of failure, it's easy to waste energy on things outside your control, but by focusing only on what you can influence, you free yourself from the stress and frustration of trying to fix everything. In the end, how you respond to failure is far more important than the failure itself. Don't let your ego turn a setback into a permanent roadblock. Stay humble, embrace struggle, and keep your focus on what you can control. That's how you'll turn failure into fuel for future success. As we wrap up, ego is the enemy has shown us that ego isn't just an obstacle. It's the enemy of everything we want to achieve. Whether we're starting out, tasting success, or facing failure, ego is always there, trying to take control. But by recognizing its presence and learning how to keep it in check, we can stay focused on what truly matters: growth, humility, and the long-term journey. The key takeaway: never let your ego fool you into thinking you're done growing. Whether you're learning, succeeding, or failing, your ego can either be a force that pushes you forward or the thing that holds you back. It's your choice. If you can stay humble, embrace the struggle, and focus on the process instead of the reward, you'll build something far more lasting than fleeting success or recognition. Keep your ego in check, stay committed to the journey, and remember, true success comes when you stop chasing it and start creating it.